So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for invitation. I have looked to the agenda, so agenda was very exciting of these 2 days, full of discussions on mega trends, smart society, smart cities, disruptive technologies, business models. So I will also make a short introduction about this general trends, so probably it will be absolutely nothing new for you. And then I will zoom to my company. I work pretty long, 25 years in Philips. It's also interesting example of transformation, how we survived for 125 years and how we build now how we build now on these new trends to reinvent ourselves, etc. So I think it's always good to see practical examples how these new technologies are applied, whether they are successful or not. So just to start with, I think, as I said, it was probably heavily discussed that we are really living in exciting times. These all great technologies from one side offer a lot of opportunities, but from another side, they are also very, very disruptive. These new business models, which are also growing based on these new technologies, they help companies to grow and to emerge. But as you see, if we look to last 17, yes? Okay, last 17 years, to list Fortune 500, 50% of companies in last 17 years disappeared from this list. So 250, and 250 new appeared. And I have also a question to you. If we take 1955, so 62 years ago, to Fortune 500, what do you think? How many companies are still on the list from 500 after 62 years? Any guess? 61. So 61, and among them still Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Whirlpool, this type of companies who managed to survive. Philips for 125 years. Because very often we say that everyone wants to grow and develop, etc. But once I heard interesting lecture and one professor said, the first goal of every company is to survive and then develop. And then grow, and then change. So this is really what you discussed during these 2 days is absolutely valid, although we discuss about these global companies, but I think this is applicable to every company and to every country, including Poland. So this mega transition from analog to digital is happening since 20 years, and there are many known examples. As you see the list of companies who succeeded to become champions in the digital era and companies which were not able to transform, which slept during the momentum time where the decisions need to be taken. And I will give only 2 examples. The Blockbuster video, leasing, renting traditional video, which we know from Poland very much. A big company of $6 billion, and in certain moment, Netflix is appearing, using internet and providing access to video via internet. And at that time, Blockbuster could buy this new emerging company, as I know, for $50 million, and they were hesitating. And it happens only 6-7 years that one company become very famous and growing and also known. Still today, very much developing, and Blockbuster went bankrupt. And also what is happening always, that the first years, this is a slow decline on revenue, probably management says, yes, it can happen, we have high market share, something like that. And later it is becoming big acceleration, which is almost impossible to change the direction, to make transformation, to be prepared. It's becoming too quick. So therefore, this momentum is so important, and therefore we call this type of technologies and trends as disruptive, because killing. This is There are trends which are really killing well-established, very successful companies. And second is Kodak, I think very well known. What we know, it was interesting that Kodak basically developed the first digital camera, but they were afraid to kill the so well-running analog photography business. And now we know what happened. We see Nikon, we see Fuji, we see Canon, Sony very successful in this digital world, and Kodak, such a great brand, is not existing anymore. So they are, let's say, lessons. They are very, very positive lessons and examples, and they are very sad lessons as examples. And they are also examples of very successful companies. We always say about these technology giants, etc. But look to company like Chibo, which we know from coffee brand. And some years ago, Chibo started to extend the scope of the business. If you go to their shops, it's not only coffee. There are some clothes, there are some products, there are some promotions. But the majority of business they do online using, e-commerce. So this is example continuation of existing business, but also adding a new type of business built on the new technologies. I think Orange, TPSA in Poland in the past, known as a, I think, dominating global player in classic analog telephony, is changing very much, or changed very much business model to banking, to energy, even supply to ICT services, is becoming really very innovative service company in new areas. And mentioned already my company, Philips, which I think you know this, our brand. If you look to Philips 10, 15 years ago, we were known as television brand, home appliances, vacuum cleaners, this type of things. We had 8 divisions, semiconductors, heavy industries, components, whatever. And I think it was good vision of our management. Even we as employees, we said what we think is a good decision, divest many businesses and invest in medical and lighting. And today Philips is basically either medical company using very advanced technologies and lighting, which also changed from selling light bulbs to selling solutions, to selling projects, building very much on energy efficiency and connected value propositions. So I said for 125 years to survive and to reinvent yourself is difficult, but also what I have to say about my company, that we have this I think DNA, like in lighting, because every technology change, we were even growing and expanding globally. So if the new LED technology came many years ago, but basically like 10 years ago, we, in difference to Kodak, although we were so strong in conventional lighting, we were pushing very much LED, although it was killing our very strong existing business. And now we are also #1 globally in LED lighting. And LED is really fantastic technology, but it's also very much disruptive technology. So if we look to these stages of technology development, I think it's nothing new. There are 3 stages like distinguished, like 90s, especially late of 90s, digital products, first digital products and infrastructure. This was really period of booming ERP systems, period that internet started to develop, but more as a communication medium. Period that first digital products appeared, like music with MP3 format, etc., etc. But what was interesting at that time, the big investments have been made in networks, in infrastructure. And then the second stage started with very much with exploring web as a distribution channel to sell products. This first, as we said, it was video, movies, music, and later it was, booming, still now is booming e-commerce. And I think now we can say this is digital transformation and business models, because this is the very, very, I would say, nice period, because this is a period of harvesting integration of many technologies and benefits of many technologies. So we can say the name for it is Internet of Things. The name is connected, smart, big data, data analytics, and this helps to build new businesses, new business models. From another side, what was discussed in the panel, we are becoming also connected people, connected society through social networks. So if we now, what was said, group in two mega trends. So from one side, we have amazing technology developments and trends, which are somehow now captured as Internet of Things. So connecting billions of devices, collecting data, bringing data analytics, learning from it, improving whatever can be improved. Also, this helps a lot for automation or even robotization, so everything is interconnected. And from another side, we can say we have some society trends or maybe even economical trends, which is ecology, which is challenges. There are challenges which are coming from scarcity of resources, or challenges like climate change, or shortages of energy, or trends for healthier living, etc. And it's also a very important trend, social but also economic. And if we go next, all these two mega trends are basically captured together, and now we have a fantastic notion of circular economy. So from the linear economy, which we're practicing for so many years, means produce, use, and reject or dispose, to really circular closed economy that we produce, we sell, we reuse, we remanufacture, we refurbish, and around all these technologies and all these approaches, the new business models are appearing, which are basically moving from paying for products, selling products, paying for ownership, for paying for use. Now is another great notion, sharing economy, which is which is also, I think, part of circular economy. So this is, I think, short introduction, nothing new. There are many definitions, of course, for it, but I think many companies are really reposition their business model, also us, and really start to practice circular economy. So examples, what I already said, that we can sell even our installation as a service to the office, and the office owner will pay us not for the installation, but for using the lighting for, for 10 years. After 10 years, we can eventually upgrade it with the upgrade the software, or maybe even sooner than 10 years. And maybe after 15 years, we'll take back, reuse, and install new. So this is the essence of circular economy. Many companies already design the products which are designed in such a way that it would be very easy to reuse, either components or recycle parts of the products which can be not reused again. We are also moving in this direction. Also, business models, I said, basically they are kind of managed services, service business model where the supplier is taking the responsibility for the entire life cycle of the product or the installation or the solution, which is different today. We sell and we forget, and the user is somehow trying later to refurbish, replace, dispose with his own efforts or other partners. So it's also reverse logistics, of course, because you have to dismantle, you have to bring back and refurbish or reuse. And of course, everything is based on the collaborative partnership, which is, I think, again, requiring change of mindset, change of attitude towards cooperation, because it should be no more transactional type of cooperation. that I sell and I forget, but it should be cooperation, which is also circular, which is based on trust, on long term, on sharing benefits, etc., etc. I will still come back to it later. So this is now coming back to us, to my company, to Philips Lighting. We always say Philips Lighting is exciting, although in this room is not too much lighting. But you appreciate lighting, it is very dark. And you appreciate lighting if day is becoming short. So we, as I said, we are more than 100 years. We are excellent. We were excellent in selling products through distributors, through wholesalers, through retailers. And somehow, also, it trigger was change of technology very much, LED technology. We also are moving from analog to digital lighting based on LED technology, which is semiconductor technology. Very much also electronics is now about, and also software, electronic software coming to lighting, which was really the revolution for even for us. So let's say our move was like, selling great products. We have been always innovative. We had many patents for light sources. So what we started to do, we started to make offer so-called turnkey projects and services, still products, but including service, including installation, that customer could not be busy with all this type of things. Then again, technology helped because we started to build system from products, electronic software, etc. So system for street lighting, system for office lighting. But still, customer is still majority of business. Customer is buying and customer is owning, like developers who build the buildings, like factories, like cities. They buy and they own the system and they maintain, or sometimes we help them to maintain and to upgrade the system. And we start to practice now managed services model, which I think from colleagues from many services pretty well known. So this is a really most holistic approach that we plan, design, build, we operate or we help to operate, we maintain, we improve the system. We give performance guarantee, so it's not guarantee of the quality of the product, but the guarantee of performance of our system. So if, for example, that the light output will be for next 10 years, I don't know, 1,000 lumens or luxes, that the energy efficiency will be 60% and we guarantee, etc., etc. So we are moving to this type of outcome-based contracts, which are known in already in many other industries, but for us and for market is also new. In our industry, for market is something really new. Basically, our industry in lighting was not very, I would say, recognized. So it requires tremendous education, but now it is a very nice business because this energy efficiency story and also new technologies made this business very attractive. So there's many discussions within many companies how to move in very established company with high market share, with very strong position, with a long tradition from product selling to solution selling or services selling. And we are still in this transformation. We think so far we are very successful globally, but also in Poland and in this region. And as you know, there are always some characteristic for product champions. If it is very much product-driven company, generally if manufacturing, technical, R&D has dominant position in the organization. So it's more type of push model, more type of selling through model. If you want to transform to service solution selling, that has to be big change. Looking first to customer, looking to end user, knowing his ecosystem, knowing his pains, and bring his needs to develop products. And also the keyword for us, and generally this is from transactional kind of linear cooperation to ecosystem cooperation. That to do this type of business, you invite many partners to work with you. And second, very important element, they are employees, management and employees. It starts always with management to be fully engaged in the change, with understanding the change, supporting the change, not obstructing the change. And later, this is the first mind shift of employees, competences, culture of the organization, and tools. Everything goes together. In our case, we managed pretty well, but I have to tell, we replaced some managers, percentage-wise, even more than employees. And within, I think, 3-4 years, we replaced like 30-40% of our employees. We also had very homogeneous teams, which is very typical for product-oriented companies. And we started to hire employees from the market, from various industries, businesses, to make a team very diverse. And I have to tell, it's really very strong team, very motivated, but also pleasure to work in such multi-skilled and diverse teams. Very important, I think, in view of time, we can, of course, spend hours only on these subjects, on this topic. And now I will show you 3 examples of what we do in terms of using new technologies in our industry. First is about offices. We are all working in offices. And it's a very interesting trend in offices for some kind of functional offices, which were boring and which were the same in every floor, to branded offices. Office environment becoming part of company strategies, especially innovative companies. Offices are becoming part of organizational culture. Offices should be inspiring. Office should help employees to be creative and innovative. And many companies start really to go this direction and invest in this direction. 10 years ago, 7 years ago, if my salespeople would go to the customer offering office lighting, would say, we have the best luminaires, giving this type of lumens and some technical parameters. Now if they go say, what is your strategy, how you transform your company, how you transform your office space, and how we can contribute with lighting to create the office of the future. I know it was a panel on it, Smart City. We are also part of Smart City. Lighting is important component of Smart City. And it's a mega trend, a global mega trend. We have also fantastic system, City Touch, cloud-based, ready to use and already sold in many municipalities. We are also working with system integrators because this is important for the city, not only to implement various verticals like transportation, security, or traffic management, lighting, but also how to integrate all these subsystems in very, credible and reliable smart city platform that this all systems could interact together, building, intelligence and I think improvements in terms of efficiency and costs. And also we are very successful in Internet of Things for homes. We have a system so-called Hue. We have a global platform. And this is, po polsku można powiedzieć, że tutaj trafiamy pod strzechy. We sell, everywhere. The best is we sell in US, in DACH, in Germany, in UK. Where is Amazon? Amazon is the biggest partner for us globally. Also, our system works together with Amazon Alcoa, so with voice recognition device. System is integrated to many smart home systems. You can be, in Thailand, you can switch on a light. You can change colors. You can set settings different for Christmas, different for birthday, etc. Different colors. So it's really fantastic and booming business. We had also partnership with Apple on the very beginning for this Hue system. And this is my last slide. I think we probably all reflect that many technologies are already ready, proven, implemented, not only in pilots, but in many normal applications. I think if we look to Poland, for example, there are great examples of implementation of these technologies, but I think still adoption is relatively slow or is pretty fragmented. I think the smart cities is example that many cities have great interest. They already implemented, especially intelligent transport, but still cities are struggling how to develop the vision, more complete vision for next years embracing majority, at least, elements of a smart city. And I think how to overcome this, not only resistance, but it's also a kind of challenge for customers, because these new technologies are complex, these projects are capital intensive, this should include different financing models. I think to speed up the proliferation of these systems, which the beauty of these technologies that they bring savings, they are efficient, effective from economic point of view. I can say from lighting, for example, that in offices we can save 40-50% of energy, in industry 50-60%, in cities still 70%. So you can save, and in the same time you improve your living standard, your environment, your management of assets, because like our system is also asset management system. So you can control your devices. You can, for example, with City Touch, dim every single luminaire on every single street lighting poles. You can use lighting infrastructure for other services, for mobile telephony, for internet, for whatever. So first, technologies are proven. Technologies can be more and more integrated. And I think the benefits should come from integration of technologies and learning from all these subsystems. Technologies help to manage assets, and new business models allow to pay for use and not to pay for ownership. But this requires still a lot of education in our countries. Probably not only in our countries, maybe also in Western Europe. Because generally our countries are more open for innovations, or generally open for innovations. But how to overcome this challenge of complexity of the systems and technologies, of risks, for example. For me, answer is good partnership between companies, big companies, smaller companies, startups, because this is the key. Because if a big city like Łódź wants to develop a credible, future-proof, to a certain extent, because technologies today will be not technologies in 5 years' time, but having credible network of partners, you can upgrade this technology, you can even develop things which are not existing today. Once you have the partners you can trust, they are partners, they will exist in 5 years' time, and partners which are ethical, which are fair, right? Which understand that all these partnerships and technologies needs to give, benefits to end user, and needs to give comfort and assurance that this system will work, will be upgraded, will be sustainable over the long period. So I think as a mindset shift, we need all technologies companies, all our customers, really to shift from transactional type of cooperation, I sell you, I earn, to really true partnerships in the ecosystem, the interest of all parties and benefits on all parties are secured. So this was my presentation. Probably thanks a lot, and if maybe 1-2 questions, because I started like 5 minutes later, so if there will be 1-2 questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you very much.